Hello my friends, and welcome back. Today, I have a story that feels almost unbelievable. It is about a woman who was famous for her beauty, but hidden behind that beauty was a brilliant mind. Before we begin, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, so you never miss these powerful stories. Have you ever used Wi-Fi and thought about where it came from? We use it every day, but we rarely ask who made it possible. Today's story will surprise you, because the person behind an idea that helped create modern wireless communication was not a scientist in a lab, but a Hollywood star. Her name was Hedy Lamarr. She was known as one of the most beautiful actresses in the world. But she was also an inventor, a thinker, and a woman far ahead of her time. Why is her story so important? Because it shows us that people are often more than what they seem. Let's begin. Hedy Lamarr was born in Vienna, Austria, in 1914. Her birth name was Hedwig Eva Maria Kiesler. As a child, she was very curious. Curious means she always wanted to learn and understand things. She asked many questions and loved to explore how machines worked. Her father played an important role in her early life. He would take her on long walks and explain how different things worked. For example, he would talk about how trains move or how street lights function. These small lessons stayed with her for many years. Can you imagine being a young girl, walking through the city, learning about technology in such a simple way? These moments helped shape her future, even if she did not know it yet. As she grew older, Hedy became interested in acting. She was naturally talented and also very beautiful. Soon, she started working in films in Europe. One of her early movies made her very famous, but also caused controversy. Controversy means strong public disagreement or shock. In that film, she appeared in scenes that were considered very bold at the time. Because of this, people talked about her a lot. Some admired her, while others criticized her. Her life took a dramatic turn when she married a wealthy and powerful man named Friedrich Mandl. He was involved in the arms industry, meaning he worked with weapons and military technology. At first, it seemed like a life of luxury. She had money, beautiful homes, and access to high society. But soon, things changed. Her husband became controlling. Controlling means trying to decide everything for another person. He did not allow her to act in films. He also kept a close eye on her, almost like she was a prisoner. Can you imagine living in a golden cage? A golden cage is a life that looks beautiful from the outside, but feels trapped on the inside. That was Hedy's reality. However, during this time, something very important happened. She was often present at meetings where military technology was discussed. She listened carefully. She learned about weapons, communication systems, and engineering ideas. Even though she was not allowed to speak, she was learning. After some time, she realized she could not live like this anymore. She made a bold decision to escape. One night, she disguised herself and fled from her husband. Disguised means she changed her appearance to hide her identity. It was a dangerous journey, but she succeeded. She left everything behind and traveled to London, and later to the United States. In America, her life changed again. She arrived in Hollywood and quickly caught the attention of film producers. Her beauty, elegance, and charm made her a perfect fit for the movie industry. Soon, she became one of the biggest stars of her time. She acted in many films and worked with famous actors. People admired her face, her style, and her presence on screen. She became known as a starlet, which means a young and attractive actress. But here is the interesting part. While the world saw her as a glamorous movie star, inside her mind, she was still thinking about inventions and ideas. She did not forget her curiosity. She did not forget what she learned during those early walks with her father. Have you ever felt like you have two sides? One that people see, and one that only you understand? Hedy lived with that feeling every day. During World War II, the world was in great danger. Countries were fighting, and new technologies were being developed for war. Hedy wanted to help. She did not want to just act in movies while others were suffering. So she started thinking. She remembered the conversations she heard in her husband's meetings. She thought about how communication systems worked. At that time, torpedoes, which are underwater missiles, were guided by radio signals. But there was a problem. Enemies could easily block or interrupt these signals. This made the torpedoes less effective. Hedy asked herself a simple but powerful question: what if the signal could not be tracked? This idea became the beginning of something revolutionary. She worked with a composer named George Antheil. A composer is a person who writes music. Together, they developed a system called frequency hopping. Frequency hopping means changing radio signals quickly between different frequencies. Frequencies are the different channels or paths that signals use to travel. By constantly changing the frequency, it became very difficult for enemies to block the signal. Think of it like changing radio stations again and again, so no one can follow you. Isn't that fascinating? They even used the idea of piano rolls to design the system. A piano roll is a paper strip used in old pianos to play music automatically. They used this concept to synchronize the changes in frequency. In 1942, they received a patent for their invention. A patent is a legal document that gives someone ownership of an idea or invention. But here comes the sad part. At that time, the military did not take her invention seriously. They thought she should focus on her acting career instead. Her idea was not used during the war. Can you imagine creating something so important, and no one listens to you? For many years, her invention was forgotten. She continued acting, but her career slowly declined. She faced personal struggles and challenges in her life. However, her idea did not disappear forever. Years later, engineers and scientists rediscovered her work. They realized how valuable it was. Her concept of frequency hopping became the foundation for modern wireless communication. Yes, the same idea helped develop technologies like Bluetooth, GPS, and Wi-Fi. So every time you connect to the internet without wires, you are using a concept that Hedy Lamarr helped create. Isn't that amazing? For a long time, she did not receive the recognition she deserved. Recognition means being officially praised or acknowledged for something you did. It was only in the later years of her life that people began to understand her contribution. In 1997, she received an award for her invention. Finally, the world started to see her not just as a beautiful actress, but as a brilliant inventor. She once said, "Any girl can be glamorous. All you have to do is stand still and look stupid." This statement shows her frustration. Frustration means feeling upset because you are not understood. She knew she was more than her appearance. Her story teaches us an important lesson. Never judge a person only by what you see. There is often much more beneath the surface. Let's pause for a moment. Can you think of someone who was misunderstood? Or maybe a time when people did not see your true abilities? Hedy's life reminds us to keep learning, keep thinking, and never limit ourselves. Even when others do not believe in you, your ideas still matter. Her journey was not easy. She faced control, escape, fame, rejection, and finally recognition. But through all of this, she remained curious. She remained creative. And that made all the difference. Now let's connect this story to your English learning. As you listened to this story, you heard important words like curious, invention, frequency, and recognition. Try to remember these words. Repeat them. Use them in your own sentences. For example, you can say, "I am curious about technology." Or, "This invention changed the world." Learning English is like building something step by step. Just like Hedy built her ideas slowly over time. Do not rush. Take your time. Practice every day. And most importantly, stay curious. Because curiosity leads to knowledge, and knowledge leads to growth. Before we finish, think about this question. What hidden talent do you have? What idea is waiting inside your mind? Maybe one day, your idea will change the world too. Thank you for listening, my friends. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow and bring you more inspiring stories like this. Also, write in the comments, what surprised you most about Hedy Lamarr? I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep learning, keep dreaming, and never stop asking questions.